Dr. J, I've heard this term fire and it has something to do with retirement, but I don't know what. So can you break this down for me?
We got to make sure we get the right fire term. Like, they're not talking about fire fest. It's FIRE, financial independence, retire early. And you and I have talked about FILE, financial independence, live early. And it's this balancing act. So fire is pretty popular right now. Fire is a concept of, look, I don't want to work the rest of my life. I want to retire at some point. And people get all types of crazy about fire. There's all types of ranges. So the concept is I'm going to have financial independence, so I have enough money that I can quit my job, which is the retirement part. It's an on-off switch for work. You're looking for more of that dimmer switch. That's where files in there. But we're saying we're going to do this, but we're not waiting till 65 or 70 or even 50 in some cases. I've worked with some people that are looking at fire in their 30s, like literally thinking about retiring in their 30s. Now, one of the big challenges for fire, my question is always not what are you retiring from, but what are you retiring to? Kind of like, what's that life look like? I mean, if you retire at 30, let's think about this. Then you go, okay, for the next 60, 70 years of my life, what do I want to do? And I hear a lot of people go, well, I think I'm going to still work. Well, then you're not retiring. That's more on that file side. So if you're going to retire, cool. If you want to like fish your entire life for the, like 70 years, go right ahead. But it's a question of how your money's going to be put together, what your plan is, and at what level. So we can go to the extreme levels for fire. So the extreme level for fire is you're only eating rice and beans or ramen noodles, and you save every penny, and then you retire as fast as possible. Would that fit you, Katie?
I feel like you already know my answer to this is going to be no, based on our previous conversations.
Well, so and for a lot of people, it isn't. It's that like literally a joke about fire people making their own soap, and there is that extreme. That extreme, like I cut everything and I retire as quick as possible. Really, what that's saying is I want to be miserable for a period of time and then retire as fast as possible. It's valid. I did that with my bachelor's degree. I did my bachelor's in 9 months. I wanted to be miserable for a short period of time and just be done. But for retirement, it depends. And then we get into fire, we get into these levels. So it goes from lean fire to fat fire. So lean fire is you're eating ramen noodles for the rest of your life. Katie already told us about her eating out habit. That's a separate video. You can watch that. Not going to work for Katie. On the other hand, the fat fire is you got your own private chef. What do you think about that, Katie?
I mean, that sounds good. I mean, what can I say about that? I don't see a downside to that except the finances.
Well, it's a different level of life. All right. About how much expense you want to have. So retirement's pretty simple. Make the amount of money you have left exceed how much you're spending. And there's a separate video on the safe withdrawal rate, and this 4% been debated over time. But rough math, you can take 4% out for life, should last you. Or the other way to do it is take whatever your expenses are now, multiply them by 25. That's what you need. So if I'm living on $40,000, I need $1 million. Cool. That's the general rule. But a $40,000 life, depending on where you live in the US, can be completely different. So I have a lot of people like they start on this fire thing. And my question is your goal really the RE, the retirement, or the FI, the financial independence, or is it both? So we get people, there's a concept called coast fi. All right. Same type of concept. I'm doing okay. My numbers are okay. I just need to put some time in and then I can retire. Okay. There's also one called barista fire. Now, this is where I'm going to get a little technical. If you're still working as a barista, you're not retired, but okay. Barista fire. Hey, I work at Starbucks. Oh, there, she got a cup of coffee. I seen Katie's got this all set up. I got my cup of coffee. I'm doing my thing. I get benefits from work. I get to go work with people, but I don't have to do my real job. My thing on that is, well, if that's really what you want to do, let's figure out a different life now and let's go to file. So if you want to fire, we're talking about retiring, stopping work at some point. Now, big concerns people have fire, health insurance. What happens if I'm 40 and I'm trying to figure out health insurance until I'm 65? Good question. Usually the healthcare marketplace will help you on that. Actually, relatively cheaper than you think. Still not cheap. Healthcare is stupid expensive in the US. That's a separate discussion. But you can do it. Healthcare shouldn't be the reason that it limits you. People go, well, I can't afford to retire. And I do the math. Their healthcare is like 12 grand a year. And I'm like, you can afford that. Well, well, let's do the math. Then it also becomes a question of which accounts you have for retirement. Can you get access before 59 and a half? So there's some stuff in the investment section on that. You may need some help with a financial planner on that to work through some of the math and some of the options there. But it's really about saving money so you can retire. The core concept between fire and file that are the same are the FI, which is really simple. Get on a budget, get out of debt, invest your money, save, you'll be fine. The difference is the outcome and where you want to go. So, Katie, you know anybody who's retired young?
No, I don't.
So here's part of the problem with retiring young. Who do I retire young with? So in my book, there's a gentleman, his name is Ryan, and he actually is in his early 40s. He's a portrait, he calls it, of successful laziness. Love that term. He's like, how little work do I have to do to get there? And he's going to fire. And what he says is he wants to like do gaming. You know, he's going to do video games, D&D, all that. And he goes, but my problem is my friends won't be able to game with me because they'll be working. That's a great question. Like I I don't have the chill enough in me to like just retire at 45. That's where he's going to be, but it's a different quality of life and he's doing fire and it's going to be perfect for him. Others, not so much. Whether it fits you or not, that's about goals. But you know what you can do? In either case, you can start working on the FI part. And the old school, I hate to say it, but that's what they used to call it, the FU money, where you have enough money where you can tell your work what to do. And you know what? That's got value, okay? Whether I want to retire early or live early or whatever, like, but it all is the same basics. Get out of debt, get on a budget, save, invest, and you're in a good place.
So when I think about this retiring early piece, my first response is like, this is would only be available to someone who's making quite a lot of money. So what do you think about that? Like if you're making 50 grand a year, or even I would say like 80 grand a year, like is this actually doable, or would you have to be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to set aside what you need to actually do this?
Well, it depends on the level. So if we're doing lean fire, where we're living off ramen noodles, I can do that making a 50 grand salary. I've seen some people, I mean, they're saving 60, 70% of their salaries towards savings. Like they are living on, I wasn't joking when they're making their own soap and they're living it with roommates. Cool. It is possible. Is that what you want? I don't know. Is it also the quality of life you want? If you're on that fat fire and you want like your own private chef and your own helicopter, you need to make a lot more than 50 grand a year. So it's kind of a balancing act between the two.